Again, this is Dr. Aajay Shah. This is our segment 18 out of 20. Hopefully you're enjoying this segment so far. Watch segment 1 to 17 in a row. And this is segment 18. Let's start with segment 18. This segment is very important. It starts with the role of optimism and how to increase it. Optimism is a form of habits of thinking. Again, optimism is how we think. Optimism can be learned. And optimist people typically have less chance of depression, they're better physical health, they live longer. So what is optimistic thinking? Optimistic people actually, they think whenever any negative events happen, that this event happens to me rarely. So again, they think this thing happens to me rarely. Doesn't matter how often it happens, but they think that it happens to me rarely. They think that this bad event or negative experience will last a very short time. This is not end of life. This is not doom feeling. They think this is normal part of life. Positive, negative things happen in a cyclical way. They typically think it's not my fault, optimistic people. They think that it's a small part of the total life, small part of the total life. This is not their whole life. Optimistic people think that I can fix it, whatever is happening. Optimistic people think that whatever I can do will make a difference. So again, these are the quality of optimistic people. And there are 3 P's you can remember: permanent, pervasive, and personal. Permanent means optimistic people think whatever is happening is not permanent. Pervasive means they think whatever is happening is only small part of their life. It's not very pervasive. And they don't take this thing personally. They don't think it's their personal fault. You can actually take an optimism test. Martin Seligman has this test, optimism, at University of Pennsylvania, so to see how optimistic you are. And there are some very negative effects of being pessimist. People who are pessimists have a 3 times higher chance of dying after a first heart attack. So again, people after a heart attack, if they are pessimists, they have 3 times higher chance of dying. And again, a person who's in a last quintile of optimism, people who are pessimists, they actually have the same health as if they are smoking 2.5 packs per day. So pessimist people, they behave as if they are 2.5 pack smoker. Obviously, if you're a smoker and pessimist, that's the worst thing to do. And there's a concept of learned helplessness where nothing you can do will make difference. That's essentially giving up or resigning from having hope. This is a very, very poor situation, almost like an apathy, like we talked earlier about apathy. This is a role of learned helplessness. I don't want anybody to go to this situation. We all have gone through learned helplessness where we have give up on situation. Fortunately, we come out of it, but this is the situation which can lead to many higher chance of depression, many higher chance of unhappiness. So never go through learned helplessness. So how can you increase your optimism? Any pessimist, any pessimistic person can increase their optimism. This is a great method by Martin Seligman, and it's ABCDE method, ABCDE method. A stands for adversity. So you analyze what the negative situation is going in your life. You say, what's the adversity? B is for belief. You know what your belief is, whatever you are pessimistically thinking. So B is your pessimistic belief. C is the consequences, what those consequences will happen from negative event. And D and E is the one how you can overcome this pessimistic attitude. You can overcome by distracting yourself, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work. But the method which works mostly is by disputing. You dispute your pessimistic attitude, your pessimistic belief. And once you dispute it, you can actually energize and you can overcome that pessimistic attitude. So let me give you an example. If you are on a healthy diet going right now, let's say you decide you're going to start eating very healthy now on. So again, you are on a healthy diet mission. And last night you went out to a restaurant and you had one slice of cheese pizza or non-cheese pizza if you are a vegan. I typically have a non-slice pizza. One slice of thin crust cheese pizza or non-cheese pizza. Now you are sitting at home and you are becoming very pessimistic. So adversity was eating that small size of pizza. Belief was that you broke your healthy eating mission and you are going to regret it. And you think the consequence will be that you will give up on this healthy eating and you will gain weight and you will be unhappy. So again, you've gone through the cycle of adversity, belief, and consequence. So how can you dispute that? You can dispute that by saying that you only had one slice, hopefully without cheese. You're disputing that you had only one slice. You're saying that it has only maybe 150 calories. Obviously, if you had a cheese pizza and a thick crust, it can be 400 calories. But again, you had only low calories, and you had a salad with that pizza, and you only broke this healthy eating once this week. You can either fast next 1 or 2 meals and overcome that calorie gain. So you're disputing all this thing. You are saying that you followed 20 out of 21 meals this week in a very strict way. So you're essentially disputing your belief that you broke and it's a doom feeling, it's a pessimistic feeling. So again, you can dispute your belief by analyzing, by writing it down. And once you dispute that feeling, you can energize yourself and you can come out of that pessimistic, vicious spiraling down. So again, ABCDE method, I want all of us to be very optimistic. Again, optimism is the way you can be happy. Optimism, the way you can be healthy. Take your optimism test to see how optimistic you are. There's a great book, again, by Martin Seligman. He is my favorite author. It's called Learn Optimism. I have that book, great book to read. If you feel like if you're not optimistic enough, read this book. The next concept is making a list of happiness boosters, and do it at least one thing from the list every day. So create your own list of happiness boosters and doing one thing that every day. I have my own list. For example, I already explained that I walk and read in my kitchen. That's my happiness booster. I do it every evening. Every evening, I do it every day. I walk and read every day. I spend time with my wife and kids. That's my happiness booster. I do Facebook Live like I'm doing right now. That's my happiness booster. I go to bookstore and have a coffee there. That's my happiness booster. So again, this is my happiness booster. You can see it. It's a great bookstore called Schuler Books in Optimism. You can see thousands of books. I go there, sit there, and I take like sometimes 10 books from the shelf. Sometimes I buy, sometimes I just read there. I spend sometimes 3-4 hours over there, sometimes 6 hours over there, and that's my happiness booster. Again, this is my current happiness booster. You can see me happy right now. All of you can see how happy I am on Facebook, on YouTube. You can see me. So when I go Facebook Live, again, that's my happiness booster. Again, there's another concept called creating your own happiness corporation. This concept came from Tal Ben-Shahar's book, Creating Your Own Happiness Corporation. And your ultimate product, ultimate item you're making in your corporation is the happiness. By having your own corporate advisory board, which can mentor you, teach you, coach you, and critique you how you can make a better product of happiness. And that advisory board can be your spouse, your life partner, your kids, your parents, your friends. They all can advise you how your happiness corporation can be successful. There's a great app called Revi app. I have that app, simple app, which also guides you towards happiness. Let's talk about role of different social media. Obviously, we are on Facebook right now. Some of you are on YouTube. There are Instagram, there are Twitter. There are obviously TV news like Fox, CNN, MSNBC. There are Netflix shows, and how there are WhatsApp. In India, everybody's on WhatsApp. See how it can lead to happiness or unhappiness. So let's talk about Facebook. What are the pros and cons of Facebook? The pros of Facebook is, in my opinion, many. You can stay in touch with multiple people at the same time. You can efficiently message them. You can see their pictures and videos. You can, in my opinion, it's a new learning platform. Like I'm doing a Facebook Live. All of you are learning from this seminar. You can make an equal interest group. Like we have a Facebook group on weight loss. We have a Facebook group on healthy recipes. You can actually teach to a mass. Like I'm teaching thousands of people by doing this thing. And obviously it's free, quote unquote free, because nothing is free. There is no free lunch. Facebook is not free. Mark Zuckerberg is very smart. As a matter of fact, I think the fifth richest person in the world now, like 70 or 80 billion dollar. He's like 34 years old, 70, 80 billion dollars. So it's not free because he's getting something out of you. He's getting in your pocket without your knowledge. So it's not quote unquote free, but still it's some free. At least you can go freely at your own desire, at your own will on Facebook. So what are the cons? It's proven that people who are on Facebook more often have less self-esteem, more anxiety, more panic disorder, uh, um, uh, more depression, more wasting of time, more decision fatigue, more compassion, more envy. So again, Facebook has a lot of cons also. Key thing is be the master of Facebook and other social media, not the slave. Again, be the master of Facebook and other social media, not the slave. This ends our segment. Let's start reflection on that segment. What was your last optimistic experience? Are you an optimist or a pessimist? How much time you spend on Facebook? How much TV news you watch and what channels do you watch? I'm not going to be judgmental. Just ask yourself, what channel do you watch? Do you watch many opinionated shows and opinionated channels, like talk shows, instead of getting real raw news, which you can judge yourself? Next thing is, what are your happiness boosters? Happiness boosters, what makes you happy? And do you have a list of it? That concludes our current segment. There are 20 segments. Again, we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on YouTube, we are on Instagram. Subscribe to all social media. Please invite your friends and family.